Well, hey there, my scrappy friends. Thanks for joining me today on my channel, Ink and Whimsy. I'm so glad you're here. I'm Laura Daniels. This is my channel where I get creative with color and ink and I tell my stories with 12 by 12 scrapbook page layouts and photos. Today's going to be a little different. It's going to be fun because I'm going to be going through the scrapbook pages that I've made this past quarter when I first started designing 12 by 12 scrapbook page layouts, and they're all using Close to My Heart's kits. So if you're interested in seeing my pages and hearing why I started scrapbooking and how I started scrapbooking, then go grab your favorite cup of coffee and stick around. Well, I am so glad you decided to stick around. This is the very first page I did, and it is with the kit Daisy Daisy by Close to My Heart. I just think it's absolutely stunning. And I want to share with you real quick while I move on to, well, let's talk a little bit about this. It's the kit Daisy Daisy. I did some paper tearing, which is the first time I've done that. I love how that looks. And I realized one of the things I love to do is to tell the story. I don't just want the date and who's in the picture. I want to be able to look at this page years from now and read the story and remember it. Because one of the things I have realized at 61 is that I've forgotten a lot of the stories. And someone will say, Mom, do you remember this? Or my husband will say, Honey, you remember this? I go, no, I don't. What happened? And they'll share the story. And gosh, I wish I'd had the photo and the story written next to it because they're good stories. So that's one of the reasons I started scrapbooking. Now, how I started scrapbooking is I went through, I don't know about all of you, but I had boxes and boxes of photos. Remember back when we had cameras, not our cell phones, and we would take a bunch of pictures and then we had to take them to the photo place to have them printed, and we'd get them back, and some of them would be blurry, some of them would be close up, but we kept every single photo. And you know why we kept every single photo? Because even if it was blurry, it still reminded us of those times and events, right? This is my scrapbook page, and it's the change of scenery scrapbooking kit with Close to My Heart. Now, these were taken with my phone, but as we progress through these photos, you're going to see some photos where I was still able to scrapbook them. But I want to tell you how I did that. And here you can see I wrote another long story because I love to tell the story. I went through every box of photos and I made 3 piles: keep, give to the kids, and throw away. And when I picked up a photo, I looked at it and I said to myself, I asked myself, does it spark joy? Does it tell a story? And is it what I need to tell the story? Because I don't always need 5 or 10 photos to tell the story. It could be the 2 photos out of the 10 that really tell the story. And the others, if they're just going to sit in a box, I'm getting rid of them because I just want to hold on to the memory and the story in a scrapbook page. This is my niece Izzy, and she was eating s'mores, and these 3 photos just told the story of all the joy wrapped up in her little heart and in her mouth eating those s'mores. I didn't write that much because there were 3 different photos, but again, it's still telling the story, right? So I started going through all my boxes. And literally, it took a couple of days, and I had my 3 bins, and I was just flinging photos left and right. I didn't even think about it. Let me tell you, you got to be in the mood to do this. Because if you're in the mood to hold on to everything, you hold on to everything. If you're in the mood for, okay, I have got to declutter and get rid of some of this stuff, that's the time. So make sure you got your bins ready, and you have your keep, give to the kids, or throw away, and then just start going through the photos. These were also taken on my phone. This was hilarious, and it's called Life's a Hoot Scrapbook Kit from Close to My Heart. And this was me trying to teach my mom how to use Google and ask a question. And it was just hilarious with how slow she was speaking into the phone as if Google could not understand her. And we were both cracking up so much. And I go, oh, I've got to take pictures of this. But it's another story that I want to make sure I remember. My mom has such an incredibly beautiful smile. So I went through all my photos. These two right here, I had forgotten I'd had. They're of my Uncle Dominic Junta. And he had come to visit us in Maine and was out taking a walk. And you know what? Uncle Dom walked every day, 1 to 2 times a day. And he lived to be 102 years old, I believe, or it was 101. The point being, he had his mind, his clarity of mind. He was healthy, he was strong, and he took a walk every day. And I wanted to document it because, you know, that's what I really remember about Uncle Dom. And I had to tell the cheese story. Yep. You can hear about that story when you go to the playlist below, and it is a list of all of the videos that I have filmed scrapbooking these pages that I'm showing you. So Close to My Heart came out with this beautiful kit. It's called Hello Darling. It is just perfect for anything that has to do with the military, the 4th of July, celebrating. And my husband and I, we were a military family in the Navy. And here I'm telling the story of when he went off to fight in the Gulf War. He was on a carrier. And this was one of those old photos. It still tells the story. It's not real clear, but I really brought it to life with all the decorations and the ephemera and stickers around the photo. And of course the story. And you know what, it's funny, when I'm telling these stories, I'm either messaging my son, my daughter, or my husband. Jerry, when did this happen? Where were we? So what do you remember about it? So that I can get the story. I always have the photos, I write the story, and then I decide how I want to put the page together. Now this one right here, you'll hear in the video when I do it. When I was taking pictures with the camera, because this was back in 1991, there's this big white van in both of the photos. And if I had been thinking clearly, which I wasn't, my husband was coming home from his 6-month deployment, I probably would have taken either a photo that didn't include the van, or I would have enlarged it so that it just focused on the two of us in the photos. But you couldn't do that with a basic camera, you know what I'm saying? So you had what you had, you did what you did, and I was still able to create what I think is a beautiful layout. And let me tell you what I did next. Now this was a photo from my cell phone, and I will print them up. I use Snapfish. And this was my niece Izzy. And sometimes they're not photos that I take. They're photos that Izzy's grandma will send me, or my mom, she goes out with Izzy. She's her great grandma, and she will post a photo to all of us. And I'll save the photos because that's part of the story, right? That's my family. So I love documenting what's going on in their lives too, so that I can remember. And Izzy absolutely loved being around these little lambs. She was just giggling and so happy. And I love that great grandma and grandma get to spend time with her. And here's the second page. This is my first time doing a double page layout. And I think if I could ever put the camera high enough and I can have 2 Versabats at one time, it might be something. Now, second thought, no, I don't think I'll ever do 2 in the same video. It was a lot of work. Yeah. So let me tell you, as I'm going back through these, what I did with all those photos that I took out of the boxes. Because remember, I kept photos that really spoke and told the story for me. I had photos for my kids to give to them, and then I had photos that went in the trash. Well, all the photos that I wanted to keep to tell a story, I got myself a little 3-ring binder. I think it was like a 6x8 size maybe, from Staples. And then it had all of the paper clear sheets that you could stick stuff in. I'm not even using the right terminology. Well, I separated all my photos. I grouped them. Like I put these 3 photos in one of those protective sleeves. And then in another one, I put these 3 photos. So I can just flip through the 3-ring binder when I have a kit I like, and I go, oh my gosh, these photos will go perfect with that. And they're already together. I'm not strumming through a box of loose photos. So that's my plan. Now, I'm not saying my plan would work for anyone else, but it works for me, and I have absolutely loved the process. And I have so many fun ideas ahead that I want to share with all of you. So I hope that you'll not only give this video a thumbs up, but that you'll hit the subscribe button and click on that little bell so that you'll get notified when the next videos come up. All right, my friends, I'm going to call it a wrap. In the comments below, tell me how many boxes of photos you have in your closet and what your plan is. And until we meet next time, God bless and have an incredible day. Bye-bye.